I just want to find 11,780 votes.
The Fulton County Grand Jury investigation of Donald Trump.
What proves fact A, fact B, and fact C? If we can do that, I'm going to bring an indictment.
I'm Bill Rankin.
I'm Tamar Hallerman. Join us for Season 9 of Breakdown from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Listen now, and please follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, everybody. This week, as we look back on 2022, we're celebrating the year's superlatives. Today, we give you Houston's biggest dreamer, Don Hartsell, who we talked with in August. He is the founder and first commissioner of the World Air League, and he is working hard to organize the World Sky Race, a first-of-its-kind competition that would send blimps, Zeppelins, and other airships racing each other around the globe, jockeying to win a $5 million prize. It is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. I'm Lisa Gray, and this is CityCast Houston. Hi, Don. Tell me about this amazing spectacle that the World Air League hopes will get off the ground in September of 24.
Well, first, what we're doing is we're having the World Sky Race, and it is basically going to be a race of airships.
Airships, things that many people would call blimps, right?
Well, blimps is a form of airships. An airship is lighter than air, and that means it could be a Zeppelin, it could be a dirigible, or it could be a blimp, or, as we look at the future, hybrid airships. With that, we're organizing this race of airships, which includes blimps, around our planet Earth.
This is the most steampunk thing ever. So tell me about the Texas piece of it.
What's going to happen?
Yeah?
We're going to have a Sky Cup that's going to last 2 to 3 hours, and we're just going to race around that city with all the airships in as close formation as they are going through their race course, which could include the San Jacinto Monument if we're here. It could include the Texas Commerce Bank, Reliant Stadium, and the George R. Brown as being the landmarks by which they have to trot their wares around and be the aerial gladiators that they are. So there's two aspects of this race. There's the race from the major summit cities, and then there's the race inside the cities, and that's what we call the Sky Cups. And those Sky Cups are designed specifically to say thank you for hosting us. We're about to challenge the state of Texas and our cities, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio. One of them is going to be selected for the honors of being the Texas Summit City on the historic World Sky Race.
As the founder of the World Air League, this is your real goal. You want the round-the-world 17 cities?
It is. It's a total of 17 cities. There are 16 races that are back-to-back. They start at the Greenwich Prime Meridian in front of London, and our first race is quite spectacular. It takes us down the Thames River, and in the first 15 minutes of Around the World in 180 days, those first 15 minutes will consist of flying over the O2 Dome, past the London Bridge, the Millennium Eye, Houses of Parliament, and Big Ben. And this is part of our storytelling, is we will assemble the largest fleet of airships ever that will go from London to Berlin in peace. It's a race that takes us to the Roman Colosseum. Prince Albert of Monaco has offered for us if we will include flying over Monaco on our way to Rome. Monaco is going to be issuing commemorative stamps on behalf of the World Sky Race. And it's like, how cool is that? I mean, really, how cool is that?
Right.
We've secured the landing rights at the Great Pyramids. I mean, this story gets better.
You can't.
And so,
oh, this is amazing. So what would this look like? you would have how many airships competing?
The prize requires that a minimum of 5 airships be in this race.
Okay.
So that way it won't be a yawner, it won't be anything but spectacular. And there's roughly about 35 airships in the world. And so the way we've designed this race route and the different tour stages of it, we will be able to challenge virtually every one of those airships to be in one race stage or more. And there's going to be a group of them, anywhere between 5 to as many as 20, attempting to go entirely around the world. We want to be able to use this as a means to really connect the world. Symbolism matters greatly to humanity. And what we're going to be doing as we go around the world is we're going to give people a reason to go outside and simply look up.
So, how many people would be able to see this spectacle?
If you were to take all the people and fill every NFL stadium for an entire season, including the Super Bowl, and let's also add to that the NBA, Formula One, PGA, the Tour de France, Volvo Ocean Race, and even the Olympics. If you were to add every one of them and come up with the number of live spectators, I'm not talking TV, I'm talking about live eyeballs. If you were to total every one of the professional sports franchises as well as the Olympics all together, you get about 90 million people that are actually physically watching those games. We're going to beat them all combined.
So I might be able to stand out in my backyard and watch them.
Yes, that is indeed
just like
the
I'd watch an eclipse. It's that level of spectacle.
Yes. You will remember where you were when you saw it, you felt it, you heard it. It was just basically the rumble that goes through your body, that vibration, good vibration.
What is it going to look like when I'm looking up in the sky? Like, I don't think of airships as being speed demons.
Well, you know, you're always watching them as they're putzing around. They're advertising.
They don't want to get out of my eyeballs.
They're not in a hurry.
They're-
They want your attention. And so, you know, you're watching them in that condition. What we're doing is we're taking these, what people typically think as putative aerial snails, and we're saying, hey, get up and go. When we are in one of our staging cities, be it either London, Berlin, Tokyo, San Francisco, or the city here in Texas.
Oh, this is interesting. So how much will it cost to do this? Airships are not cheap.
You know, the ships aren't cheap, and so we're looking
big.
for the advertisers, each of them, to step up and cover those costs. And do you know what the range is for sponsorship of a single Tour de France team? Between 9.3 million and 43.6 million. To enter the Volvo Ocean Race, entry fee is $8 million. To put a car into the Dakar Road Rally, you're looking at probably spending about $18 million. We're in that range.
What is it about an airship, about that blimp, that is so spectacular, that catches your breath?
I would have to say, looking up is nearly a religious experience, or that religions understand the value of looking up. When you go inside a cathedral, what do?
You look at that ceiling.
You look up.
Yeah.
And there's something about our posture. I could challenge you right now to stand up, look at your feet, and then look at the ceiling above you and arch your back. And the moment you do that, you actually feel better. It's a physiological aspect of our being human. And so I believe that inherently, most religious moments where people are looking up are taking advantage of that moment where our physical being creates that good feeling, and the associative values that we get from that are distilled and imparted to whatever it is that gives us that reason to look up. Air shows, balloon festivals, cathedrals, skyscrapers, they all have an element to which airships belong as well.
This isn't just an idea. You are finding other people who have signed on very enthusiastically. You mentioned Prince Albert II. Who else? Who else is really excited?
When we run the credits on this race, I want them to be at least 2 miles long. And so the people that are involved with this, they have a sense of pushing boundaries. A significant number of the people that are with me are members of the Explorers Club. So I've got Catherine Sullivan, the first American woman to walk in space. She is the deepest diving woman ever. I mean, we're talking Marianas Trench deep.
Wow.
And there's only 3 people that have a deeper record than she. And we're talking 7 miles. I've got Dr. Bertrand Piccard. He comes from an exploring family. And basically, he did the first balloon circumnavigation, and then he did the solar impulse, the first solar-powered airplane circumnavigation of the globe. He is committed to bringing the world to not requiring fossil fuels.
Yeah, and how do airships tie into that?
Lighter than air means floating in air. And an airplane, to get in the air, it spends 90% of its energy just to get in the air. And an airship is already in the air, spending no energy on that part of the equation. So, for an airplane to go forward, it spends 10% of its energy. For an airship to go forward, it spends 100% of its energy. And so that means to move a pound per mile or kilogram per kilometer, doesn't matter which language you speak, it's 75% less energy, 75% less pollution.
Yeah.
That is with the technology as it exists today. But if we take these propulsion systems and we make them green, in other words, hydrogen fuel cells, solar powered, battery, hybrid electric, and eliminate the fossil fuel component, it's so much easier to do this in an airship than it is an airplane. We can carry the elements of the future going forward with a green system and completely change the world. We will be able to revolutionize the entire world by relieving governments of the constancy of having to add infrastructure to our grid. That means not having to displace the rainforest for roadways. It does not mean destroying the tundra. We can, in essence, back off on destroying our environment by utilizing airships as well. And so not only does it save in terms of pollution and it's more energy efficient, we get to be connected without that destruction that goes with infrastructure.
Oh, so is that part of that vision, that bigger, grander vision, not just a race, but rethinking how we travel from city to city? One of the things that's excited some of your supporters?
I had 30 years to think about this project before I started working on it. So, yes.
So who else is thinking about this with you?
All right. We have Dr. Cyan Proctor. She is the first female Black astronaut pilot selected by SpaceX to pilot the Dragon capsule. We have John and Martha King, perhaps the most famous flight instructors in the entire world. Together, they're an amazing team. People like Ross Perot, he's donating the use of the Alliance Airport to us up in Fort Worth. We've got Trammell Crow, the founder of EarthX, who is involved with this because of its environmental aspects. And plus, I think he thinks it's pretty cool. And the former Egyptian minister for antiquities, Dr. Zahi, he's given us permission to land at the pyramids. You know, it's just an amazing, stellar cast of people that have made their mark on the world, to which they are giving their support, their friendship, and their advice on how to make this succeed.
Yeah. Oh, this is exciting. Okay. So the next step then is you're putting out this proposal to the Texas cities.
Yes.
What happens next? What do you need to make it happen?
We are flying over the state of Texas in March of 25. And why are we doing that? Because all the wildflowers are going to be blooming. We're going to put our best foot forward. We want the world to see the Texas we cherish. And so we start with the beauty.
Yeah.
And then we add an ingredient that is universal to our state. It's called friendship. I'm just looking for which of our cities is going to take up that clarion call. Which one is going to supply the airfield, the crowds, and all the splendor of being the host, the Texas Summit host city for the epic, historic World Sky Race.
Thank you so much, Don. This is so exciting.
Thank you.
That was Don Hartsell, founder of the World Air League. We'll have a link to the World Sky Race in our show notes. That is it for our show today, but we will be back tomorrow with more Houston Superlatives for 2022. Talk with you then. All right. I don't think I'm going to get that any better. Okay.